What's up guys, Taylor here. Welcome back for another video. If this is your first time joining me today, I really appreciate the support. Go ahead and do me a favor and subscribe, drop a like, and a comment on videos you want to see in the future so I can add them to the list and come up with the videos that you guys want to see. But anyways, without wasting too much time, let's go ahead and hop into the topic of discussion today, and that is, should you volunteer for recon or to become a recon Marine while you are at SOI? So I bring this question up because years ago, from 2015 to 2018, I was a combat instructor, and it was some of the best times of my career as a Marine. I loved it. I had fantastic times, just good memories, good people, teaching students, and it was just overall just a really good freaking time, and I miss it sometimes. I really do. But anyways, what a lot of people didn't realize is that when you enlist in the Marine Corps, you take your ASVAB and you qualify for various jobs. Well, based off those jobs, your scores, you get those jobs. And sometimes Marines or poolies or people trying to join the Marine Corps, they don't always get the job that they want to get. They might want to do recon, they might want to be infantry or whatever, but that job might not be available, etc. So they settle for a job that they really don't want. But when they get to SOI, a lot of people didn't realize that you have the ability to actually volunteer to become a recon Marine, which means you relinquish or give up your current MOS, whatever that might be, for the opportunity. All right, key word, for the opportunity to try and become a recon Marine. And a lot of people, they get wrapped up in the glory and the shiny lights, like, ooh, recon, it's shiny, it's cool, it looks fun, looks like Call of Duty, this and that. And a lot of people, they don't realize the physical requirements of recon and what it really takes to become a recon Marine. And for whatever reason, everybody forgets that reconnaissance Marines are amphibious. Half their time they're in a pool swimming, and some of these people have never swum a day in their life. Yeah, you can run fast, you might be a strong big dude, whatever, but if you can't swim, like, what are we even doing right now? So when I was always asked the question, should I do it, some of the things I always with was, can you swim? All right, that was like the number one thing that I asked Marines who were wanting to volunteer for recon and give up their MOS to do is, can you swim? Because if you can't swim, and I don't mean like doggy paddle, I don't mean like, yeah, I swim a couple times in the summer at my family's house, on the beach, in the lake or whatever, like, I mean swim. Like, can you swim 500, 1,000 meters continuously doing the breaststroke, doing the crawl stroke, which is your traditional swim, or the side stroke? And a lot of people, they can't make it from one end of the pool to another, and yet we're talking about being in the pool for 4 or 5 hours doing things that are going to truly take you outside of your comfort zone. So if you can't swim, that's your number one red flag. Like, you really need to consider what you're doing, because at the end of graduation, right? So whenever all the Marines who did volunteer for recon, right, they had the qualifying scores, the PFT score, and the GT score, etc. Once we graduated at MCT, one of the instructors would walk that group of Marines, so it's typically a group, down the street, because at SOI West on Camp Pendleton, Reconnaissance Training Company, it's right down the street. Like, we would literally walk them in a formation down the street to these guys. And the very first day, from what I remember, the very first day, these guys would go down there, with their bags and everything, and they would meet one of the recon instructors, and they would, hey, take your bags, come over here, paperwork, whatever, take your uniforms off. Hey man, we're getting in the pool. So this is day one, like minute one, after you drop your stuff off, let's get in the pool. The pool, hey, I'm here to do recon. Like, yeah, we're gonna see if you got what it takes, like, starting right now, so we don't waste your time. And one day I actually talked to one of the instructors, and I was like, hey man, we get a lot of guys that want to volunteer, that want to do what you guys are doing. I really respect it and whatnot. What's the best piece of advice? And he's like, hey, if these guys can't swim, like on a collegiate level, I mean like legit swim, tell them not to do it, because they're gonna waste their time, but they're gonna waste our time as instructors. And I kind of thought that was funny, because he was taking in his own time into consideration, because everybody wants to be a recon Marine until it's time to do recon Marine shit, right? Yeah, it sounds cool. I watched the video, Call of Duty looks badass, this super hype video I just saw looks great, but it's like, oh, now you have to do it. You're out of shape, you're not conditioned, and yet you're gonna go from 0 to 100 just like that. So you can't swim, that's off the table. If you're not physically fit, okay, you don't have to be like the biggest, baddest, best at everything, because throughout BRC, which for those that don't know, BRC is basic reconnaissance course, and that is like the actual formal school. But before you go to BRC, you do a prep course, which is to get you prepared for BRC. And these days here in 2022, I think they might call something different, but basically there's like a pre-course that you do before going to the actual BRC course that produces 0320 on Recon Marines. And if you don't pass the prep course, you get dropped there. And then what people also don't realize is that once you get dropped, your last MOS, right, the MOS you gave up, is off the table. And now it comes down to needs of the Marine Corps, okay? Needs of the Marine Corps, meaning that the Marine Corps can put you in any job that they see fit that you qualify for, which potentially could be the job that you gave up, but in most instances, it's going to be something that, you know, you probably didn't want to begin with as well. And at that point, you really have no say. Now, I have heard other, situations, whatnot, where someone may or may not have had a say, but the whole point is that once you give that job up to go recon, if you make it, congratulations, you're a recon Marine. Enjoy your, your next 4 years kicking ass and doing all that badass stuff. If you don't, you're going to be doing something that you probably don't want to do to begin with. So swimming, physically fit, and having a good attitude, because a lot of these people, they become entitled, like, oh, I rate to be a recon, I do this, my dad was recon, etc. No one cares, man. I don't care if your dad was recon, I don't care if your grandpa was recon or your brother's a Navy SEAL, whatever. That's not you. They made it, doesn't mean you're gonna make it. And that's not to take anything away from you, but again, based off the last two things I said, if you're not meeting those minimum requirements, then you're wasting your time. And what I would tell Marines that were considering this, but that weren't conditioned, or that, that weren't really prepared, was, look, man, go to your MOS school, earn the MOS of your current job, whatever that might be, and do that job for a couple years. And then in the future, you can volunteer for recon, talk to your career plan, you can, lat move or volunteer for that in the future. Okay, so it's, if you don't do it now, it's not a forever end of the line thing, because once you get to the fleet and you get more established, you're out of that student status, etc., you're gonna have more of a normal day-to-day life. All right, you're gonna go to work in the morning, go to chow, have the evenings free to work out, train, etc., and actually prepare yourself for what it is you're gonna do. So that in the future, right, when you actually go to recon training in the future, you are prepared. You're like, swimming, psh, ain't shit, I can do this. Hiking, easy. All that stuff that usually cuts people off at the very beginning, you've already conquered that because you've been training for it, you've been preparing for it, and whatnot over an extended period of time, instead of just winging it at the beginning and hoping that you do it. Now, this isn't to say that there aren't people who do volunteer out of SOI or, at MCT or whatever, and that just don't crush it. There are guys, anomalies of course, that volunteer and just crush it. Hey man, I swam in college, I've swam my whole life, I'm a beast, I'm a team player, etc., and they go on to be successful. But that doesn't always happen, okay? Because I can't tell you how many times we send a group of guys down, telling them what I just told you guys right now. All right, best of luck, man. A month later, after our next graduation, which at the time MCT was 29 days long, so 29 days from that graduation day to the next graduation day, I would see, that Marine again coming to our area to get on a bus to go to an MOS school or go to the airport. And I was like, I know you, like, who? I feel like I know you from somewhere. Oh yeah, always looking down and kind of embarrassed and whatever. I'm like, you're the guy who went recon. And I was like, hold on, let me guess. And I wasn't even trying to be rude. I was like, the pool, swimming, right? Yes, staff sergeant, when I was a staff sergeant at the time. I was like, I told you, man. And this wasn't to push you down and say you're not going to make it or just not have any faith in you. It's just based after countless people going before you, and even the instructors themselves telling me and you guys what to expect, and you still didn't believe me. Sometimes you got to learn things for yourself, but that doesn't mean that you can't try again in the future. So for those guys that are watching that want to do recon or whatever, if you don't get a recon contract from your recruiter, because they are rare, okay? They are rare. Just know that when you get to SOI, you can volunteer for recon, okay? You can do it. Your instructors might tell you the same thing I'm telling you, hopefully. If not, at least they might give you some insight. And if they don't, you guys will probably have your phones at some point. Go online, look up the requirements, look up what it is you're going to be doing, and see if you fit that mold. And if you do, hey man, take your chances and may the odds forever be in your favor. And if you don't quite make the cut there, don't feel ashamed. Don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel down. Just know that, hey, right now might not be your time, and that's completely fine. But in the future doesn't mean you can't try again to accomplish that goal of becoming that recon Marine and going and doing all that cool stuff. So anyways, guys, I hope that helps answer your question and put things into perspective that you may or may not have known. And if you knew all this stuff, that's awesome. But if you didn't, I hope you guys learned something today. If you did, leave me a like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what your favorite part was. And again, as always, leave me a comment letting me know what kind of videos you guys want to see in the future, because this was a super common question that I wanted to not put on a reel, kind of go more in depth on, but at the same time just kind of shine a light on the realities of what you're going to be doing and kind of what it takes to go there. So anyways, guys, as always, I truly appreciate the support. I think right now, as of today, which is July 7th, I got 450 subscribers on here, which is awesome. You know, we're growing at a pretty steady rate right now, so I want to keep that up. Hopefully this video helps. But anyways, till next time.